Splorin!
Welcome, dear viewers, to Mount Dora, Florida, one of the few places in the Sunshine State where even the grumpiest of cynics can tolerate, without requiring immediate therapy. And by far the quirkiest corner within the theme park. I mean, Greater Orlando here.
In the corner of my soul.
Drenched in eccentric vibes so strong that you think that everyone's sipping the Wonderland tea, Mount Dora boasts a lively downtown that looks straight out of a Wes Anderson movie. Haunted hotels that might just be old plumbing, and more random festivals than you've got excuses to avoid family gatherings.
Do you wanna be inside? Do you wanna be inside?
And then there's this behemoth. It's Renninger's Twin Markets. Think of it as a city within a city, except instead of just buildings and roads, there's also a curious amount of creepy dolls and vintage avocado slicers. It's kind of like the mecca of the bizarre, the hub of the eccentric, and in some dimly lit corners, a place where you'll question your life choices. Recently, I dragged my good friend Jacob the Carpetbagger into the maze that is Renninger's. And our mission? Well, is to get lost, to potentially question why we came here in the first place, and eventually to show you the cream of the crop, the top of the oddball heap. So buckle up and grab your emotional support alpaca, and then join us for just a little Splorin. Hold on to those flea market fanny packs, folks, tucked away on a whopping 117 acres of what could very well be Central Florida's prettiest rolling hills. Though, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of competition. I give you Renninger's Twin Markets in Mount Dora. Imagine every tree you see festooned with Spanish moss doing the tango in the breeze. You've got not one but two enormous buildings and some rather breezy shopping spots that boast everything from, I might need this one day, trinkets to, why on earth is this so expensive, antiques. Craving for a bejeweled kumquat or perhaps a vintage llama hair sweater? Look no further. And for those of you who think that shopping is a sport, well, they've got you covered with air conditioning. Well, after all, who said that you can't have your fresh meat and eat it in very cool comfort? Oh, but wait. Just when you think you've seen it all, there's the street of shops. Dozens of miniature antique shops where every store is like a stepping stone into Grandma's attic. Minus the mothball smell.
Where's the beef?
Well, some of them don't have the mothball smell, at least.
Smells like balls.
Boasting the title of the largest markets in Lake County, which, trust us, is actually saying something, Renninger's Antique Center and Flea Market stretches across a sprawling property that seems to just kind of go on forever. As for the flea market, it's less of a market and more of a shopping universe. If you've ever wondered where all those lost socks and secondhand whiskers or unique trinkets end up, they're probably here.
Look at all that crap.
Alright, my lovelies, today we're diving deep into the wide world of the Twin Markets, starting off in the vintage section of this labyrinthine complex. Prepare to be mildly interested because we're about to unearth some of the more distinctive finds that you may accidentally trip over. First on our list, Steve. Who's Steve? That's a great question. I have no idea, but this delightfully cryptic sign suggests that we either need to interrogate him like he's the guardian of some mystic bridge, or simply toss some coins his way. I'm hoping for the later because confrontation really isn't on today's itinerary. Oh, and this cute little guy right here? Probably not Steve. Each of these little nooks is its own world, really. A microcosm of shopping dreams and sometimes nightmares. They're basically standalone boutiques that cater to the particular tastes of, well, peculiar people. Expect something from vintage furniture to the finest of china to the china that's seen better days. And in many booths, well, I dare say too many booths, the curiosities go from, oh, neat, to, why does that exist? In the meantime, enjoy the ride. Alright, gather round folks and lend me your ears because I'm about to introduce you to the legend, the myth, the enigma that is Jacob the Carpetbagger. If you've never had the pleasure, imagine a fellow who's drawn like a magnet to all things weird, wonderfully warped, and frankly kind of creepy. The more bizarre, the better. To most of us, the so-called antiques might provoke a laugh. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a dash of comedic absurdity? But to Jacob, brother, or sister if the petticoat fits, it's kind of like high art. He's truly an expert collector of the wild and the wacky depths of human imagination. And my lovelies, let's not pretend that I'm above it all. I too have been lured in by the siren song of weirdness parading as antiques. Now, while some of these pieces redefine the term vintage in, let's say, imaginative ways, others are jaw-dropping relics of history. Now, don't get your hopes up for a dusty Magna Carta or the mythical frozen sixth Beatle, although wouldn't that be a trip? But don't be shocked if you do stumble upon a saber that once danced through Gettysburg, or perhaps an old pedal car. You know, the ones that your great-grandma claimed that she raced for the high stakes of penny whistles and moon pies? Because why not? Well, looky here, the piece de resistance of this antique maze. A wild fusion of toys spanning, what, centuries? Each one bearing the scars of passionate play or sheer neglect. And directly across, the piece de beer. A majestic collection of beer steins so ornate you'd think that they were crafted for royalty. Not that I'd ever fill them up myself, I prefer my beverages non-alcoholic, but those toys? Consider me utterly distracted. Alright folks, prepare your senses as we step out of this rather perplexing beer toy realm, because clearly somebody thought that was a good juxtaposition. We're about to plunge into what might be Central Florida's most bonkers brainchild. It's a whole dang city of antiques. Not a corner, not a hamlet, but a full-blown metropolis. Streets, alleys, crossroads, the whole urban shebang. And those houses and shanties? Stuffed to the gills, fuller than a Thanksgiving turkey with every bizarre trinket and treasure known to humankind. I mean, what were they thinking? Better yet, what were they drinking? Maybe they'd stop at the beer toy store as well. Well, looky here, it's our dear friend Jacob the Carpetbagger diving deep into the rabbit hole of weirdness again. He's found himself a prize wheel, but brace yourself, this isn't your grandma's friendly carnival game. There's no prizes here, just pure, unfiltered sass. If you spin it and Lady Lucky's off her lunch break, you'll be dubbed a loser. Oh, it said it, not me. And now, tiptoeing further into this den of peculiarity, where the loser wheel reigns supreme, we're assaulted by scented candles. It's a mishmash of what looks like relics from a bygone era paired with fresh, fragrant candles, and each one is begging unsuspecting wanderers to unscrew the lid and take a whiff and then mumble a mesmerized, that's the stuff, to their pals. Yet, always left behind, unloved and unpurchased. Some people just can't commit.
That's the stuff.
And just when you thought that we were going to exit this twilight zone, that is the antique metropolis, without further ado, behold, a trinket so uniquely terrifying that it simply begs for acknowledgement. If you're thinking it's Miss Piggy's evil twin, think again. But I wouldn't blame you for the mix-up, just don't look directly into its eyes for too long. Alright, hold on to your hats and glasses because we're about to shimmy on over to the more budget-friendly side of our shopping wonderland. The flea market section. You'll notice the vibe here is slightly more animated. Maybe it's the adrenaline of snagging a deal, or perhaps it's the mere realization of the affordability in this part of town. Either way, your wallets are going to be prepared for a lighter kind of workout. So I may have had a little embarrassingly big fanboy moment over this booth. Why? Well, 2 words, tiki magic. Oh yes, I have a soft spot for all things tiki, and yes, I did splurge on a tiki mask lamp. Judge away. Go on. I dare ya. You want to go? Square up, pal! Huh. If this doesn't just take the bizarre cake. Behold, it's the plastic blow-molded unicorn saints. Because of course every lawn in suburbia just is incomplete without a glowing holy figure sporting a snazzy horn from its noggin. Look, I've since then been enlightened about what this is supposed to truly represent, but let's be real, I'm sticking with my narrative that this is in fact a majestic last unicorn. Reality is overrated anyways. Alright my friends, what is the perfect side dish to questionable collectibles and garden decor that may just earn you a side eye from heaven? Well, protein of course, and not just any protein, but the kind that's hot, boiled, and saltier than your aunt's comments at Thanksgiving. You might be associating this delicacy with a gas station, but here we have our own Michelangelo of the peanut boiling world. It's fine dining. Well, not really, but it is an art of its own. Sort of. Oh, I can hear your thoughts from here, you sneaky lot. Yes, they were tantalizingly Cajun. Yes, they danced a spicy jig on my taste buds, and no, I absolutely did not, and I cannot stress this enough, slurp the peanut potion at the bottom of the cup. At least as far as your prying eyes can tell. With that gourmet redneck feast settled into our belly trenches, Jacob and I ventured into the next building of the flea market. Oh, and brace yourself because this one is cranked up to 11 on the flea market-y scale. While I'm busy fishing out lingering spicy peanut remains from my chompers, here, indulge in these visual treats of the indescribably unique items up for grabs, and trust me, words fail. I'll catch you on the back nine, folks. Well, I caught you ogling this eclectic mountain of hats and keyboards, didn't I? It's a sight, isn't it? But hold on to your hats, pun intended, because I've got something even more unexpected to show you. No, it's not the Kmart carousel, though I admit that was a little bit of a curveball. I'm pointing to these. Yes, these right here. These are piglets. And yeah, they're up for grabs. And just to clarify, the whole selling of piglets at a flea market thing, not exactly on my list of favorites, and yet here they are, and here we are, and look, there's some birds, too. Fantastic. Wrapping up on our whirlwind escapade through Renninger's flea markets, we land at the so-called dollar store. Spoiler alert, though, it's pretty generous with the word dollar. The cherry on top of my flea market sundae, though, is this bottle of scented oil ambiguously labeled Viagra. I have no clue on what the intended aroma is, but if I had to wager, I'd say it's the sweet scent of desire, milady. Well, the last evolution of this channel is pretty simple. I'm looking to be your virtual tour guide into the phenomenal places that my wandering feet have taken me, especially for those who might never get the chance to see them in person. This labyrinthine complex, well, it's a gem. The antiques, pure eccentric gold. The flea market finds, unrivaled in their quirkiness. But the crowning jewel of Renningers and Mount Dora isn't the items, it's really the journey. Every corner you turn, every nook, every cranny, unveils a fresh surprise. A keepsake memory. A tale waiting to be told. And we've got more tales to tell, and hope you will join us next time when we do just a little more Splorin.